Hello and welcome to Breaking Bard Romeo and Juliet here on twitch.tv/ live action roleplay. I am your host and director, Ryan Omega, he, him, and this series was inspired by just trying to make Shakespeare more accessible since it's been around for over 500 years. Let's make it more some of these parts are difficult to understand, so we wanted to adapt some of this to 2021 so that people can understand some of the context. This includes some of the original intent of Shakespeare, aka some of these are dick jokes. So that was kind of noted in some of the direction as well as the adaptation. The adaptation is called A LARP of Edgelords and takes place as a LARP at a LARP, but it is a transliteration of the original Romeo and Juliet. And we are doing selected scenes for this show. All right, so we're gonna have everyone introduce themselves. I'm gonna start off with PJ. Say hi, PJ.
Hi, PJ. Hi, my name is PJ McGaw. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Nat20 Productions Official as we do Pathfinder shows and content weekly. And I'm playing Benny V. Benvolio.
All right. Next, we go over to Jack. Say hi, Jack.
Hi, I'm Jack. You can find me at Entropy on YouTube and Cheerful Entropy on Twitch.
All right.
I'm going to be playing Romeo.
Okay. Next, we go over to Ruben. Say hi, Ruben.
Hi, everybody. My name's Ruben Bressler. You can follow me everywhere on the internet at MOXREUBY. And I will be the prince and the storyteller for this production.
All right. Next, we go over to Ben. Say hi, Ben.
Hi, I'm Ben. I'm playing Samson and First Citizen and Peter. I have no socials you can find me on.
Next, we go over to Blythe. Say hi, Blythe.
Hello, I am Blythe. I am playing Lady Capulet and Lady Montague and Abraham. It's going to be really fun. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram and pretty much everything under BlytheColin93. I keep it simple.
All right. Next, we go over to Justin. Say hi, Justin.
Hello, I'm Justin Montague, no relation, and you can find me on most social media as at It's JJ Monty. I am playing Mercutio today.
All right. Next, we go over to Jennifer. Say hi, Jennifer.
Hey, I'm Jen Kretschmer. You can find me on Twitter as @DreamWisp. You can find me streaming on Twitch as DreamWispJen, and I will be your Juliet today.
Next, we go over to Darren. Say hi, Darren.
Greetings. Hello, everyone. My name's Darren, and I'll be playing Gregory, Lord Capulet, and Lord Montague. Really excited. It's my first time on Twitch.
Oh, nice. Next, we say hi to Courtney. Say hi, Courtney.
Hi, Courtney, because I remember the joke.
Yeah.
I'm Courtney. You can find me on Twitter at the Anime Goddess. You can also find me and a bunch of Ryan's other productions here on twitch.tv/live action roleplay. Give them a follow and subscribe. Tonight I'm playing the nurse/LARP mom, and I'm really looking forward to it.
And last but not least, we have Kai. Say hi, Kai.
Hi, Kai. Now what do? All right. So hi, I'm Kai. I'm playing Tybalt, and I can be found on the internet in places under Yokai Props.
All right. So for this presentation today, we're going to go in the following order. We're going to be covering 4 scenes. We will start with the original Shakespeare text first, and then we will have those same actors go over into the adaptation. So we will be covering Act 1, Scene 1, Act 2, Scene 2, Act 2, Scene 4, and Act 3, Scene 1. So we're not doing the entire play, but we are making comparisons by having adaptations. All right. We will get started. So we're going to start off with just Gregory and Samson in Act 1, Scene 1. That begins this play. We begin when I read the stage directions. Okay. Oh, so we're gonna have we're gonna have people turn their cameras turn their cameras on when they enter the stage. Great. All right. Romeo and Juliet, Act 1, Scene 1. Scene 1, Verona, a public place. Enter Samson and Gregory of the House of Capulet, armed with swords and bucklers.
Gregory, oh my word, will not carry coals.
No, for then we would be colliers.
I mean, and we being collier, we'll draw.
Aye, while you live, draw your neck out the collar.
Ha ha ha, I strike, quickly being moved.
But thou art not quickly moved to strike.
A dog of the house of Montague moves me.
Well, to move is to stir, and to be valiant is to stand. Therefore, if thou art moved, thou runnest away.
Ha ha, a dog of that house shall move me to stand. I will take the wall of any man or maid of Montague's.
That shows thee a weak slave, for the weakest goes to the wall.
True, and therefore women, being the weaker vessels, are ever thrust to the wall. And therefore I will push Montague's men from the wall and thrust his maids to the wall.
The quarrel is between our masters and us, their men.
'Tis all one. I will show myself a tyrant. When I have fought with the men, I will be cruel with the maids, cut off their heads.
The heads of the maids?
Aye, the heads of the maids, or their maiden heads. Take it in what sense thou wilt.
They must take it in what sense that feel it.
Oh, me they shall feel when I am able to stand, and 'tis known I am a pretty piece of flesh.
'Tis well thou art not fish. If thou hadst been poor John. Draw thy tool. Here comes two of the house of Montagues.
My neck weapon is out. Quarrel, I'll back thee.
How? Turn thy back and run?
Fear me not.
No, marry, I fear thee.
Let us take the law of our sides. Let them begin.
I will frown as I pass by, and let them take it as they list.
Nay, as they dare, I will bite my thumb at them, which is a disgrace to them if they bear it.
Enter Abraham and Balthazar.
Do you bite your thumb at us, sir?
I do bite my thumb, sir.
Do you bite your thumb at us, sir?
Is the law of our side if I say I?
No.
No, sir, I do not bite my thumb at you, sir, but I bite my thumb, sir.
Do you quarrel, sir?
Quarrel, sir? No, sir.
If you do, sir, I am for you. I serve a man as good as you.
No. Better.
Well, sir.
Say better. Here comes one of my master's kinsmen.
Yes, better, sir.
You lie.
Draw, if you be men. Gregory, remember thy swashing blow.
They fight. Enter Benvolio.
Pot fools! Put up your swords, you know not what you do.
Beats down their swords. Enter Tybalt.
What? Art thou drawn amongst these heartless hinds? Turn thee, Benvolio, look upon thy death.
I do but keep the peace. Put up thy sword, or manage to part these men with me.
What? Drawn? And talk of peace? I hate the word, as I hate hell, all Montagues, and thee. Have at thee, coward!
They fight. Enter several of both houses who join the fray. Then enter citizens with clubs.
Bills, clubs, partisans, strike, beat them down. Down with the Capulets and down with the Montagues.
What noise is this? Give me my longsword. Ho!
A crutch, a crutch. Why call you for a sword?
My sword, I say! Old Montague is come and flourishes his blade in spite of me.
Enter Montague and Lady Montague.
Thou villain Capulet! Hold me not! Let me go!
Thou shalt not set 1 foot to seek a foe.
Enter Prince with attendants.
Rebellious subjects, enemies to peace, profaners of this neighbor-stained steel, will thy not hear? What ho, you men, you beasts that quench the fire of your pernicious rage with purple fountains issuing from your veins? On pain of torture from those bloody hands, throw your mistempered weapons to the ground, and hear the sentence of your moved prince. 3 civil brawls, bred of an airy word, by thee, old Capulet and Montague, have thrice disturbed the quiet of our streets, and made Verona's ancient citizens cast by their grave beseeming ornaments. To wield old partisans in hands as old, cankered with peace, to part your cankered hate. If you ever disturb our streets again, your lives shall pay the forfeit of the peace. For this time, all the rest depart away. You, Capulet, shall go along with me, and Montague, come you this afternoon, to know our further pleasure in this case to Old Freetown, our common judgment place. Once more, on pain of death, all men depart!
Exeunt all but Montague, Lady Montague, and Benvolio.
Who set this ancient quarrel new abroach? Speak, nephew. Were you by when it began?
Here were the servants of your adversary, and yours, close fighting ere I did approach. I drew to part them. In the instant came that fiery Tybalt with the sword prepared, which, as he breathed defiance to my ears, he swung about his head and cut the winds, who nothing hurt withal, hissed him in scorn, while he were interchanging thrusts and blows, came more and more, and fought on part and part, until the prince come, and he parted either part.
Oh, where is Romeo? Saw you him today? Right glad I am that he was not in this fray.
Madam, an hour before the worshipped sun peered forth the golden window to the east, a troubled mind drave me to walk abroad, where, underneath the grove of a sycamore, the westward rooted from the city's side, so early walking did I see your son. Towards him I made, but he was aware of me, and stole into the covert of the wood. I, measuring his affections by my own, that most are bruised when they are most alone, pursued my humor not pursuing his, and gladly shunned who gladly fled from me.
Many a morning hath he there been seen, with the tears augmenting the fresh morning's dew, adding to clouds, more clouds with his deep sighs. But also soon as the all-cheering sun should draw forth the shady curtain from Aurora's bed, away from light steals home my heavy son, and private in his chamber pens himself, shuts up his windows, locks fair daylight out, and makes himself an artificial night. Black and portentous must this humor prove, unless good counsel may the cause remove.
My noble uncle, do you know the cause?
I neither know it, nor can learn of him.
Have you importuned him by any means?
Both by myself and many other friends, but he, his own affection's counselor, is to himself, I will not say how true, but to himself, so secret and so close, so far from sounding in discovery as is the bud bit with the envious worm. Ere he can spread his sweet leaves to the air, or dedicate his beauty to the sun, could we but learn from whence his sorrows grow, we would as willingly give cure as know.
Enter Romeo.
Ah, see, here he comes. So please you step aside. I know his grievance, I will know his grievance or be much denied. I am sorry.
I would thou wert so happy by thy stay to hear true shrift. Come, madam, let's away.
Exeunt Montague and Lady Montague.
Good morrow, cousin.
Is the day so young?
But news struck 9.
Ay me, sad hours seem long. Was that my father that went hence so fast?
It was. What sadness lengthened Romeo's hours?
Not having that which having makes them short.
In love?
Out.
Of love?
Out of her favor, in which I am in love.
Alas, that love, so gentle in his view, should be so tyrannous and rough in proof.
Alas, that love whose view is muffled still should without eyes see pathways to his will. Where shall we dine? Oh me, what fray was here? Yet tell me not, for I've heard it all. There's much to do with hate here, but much more with love. Why then, oh brawling love, oh loving hate, of anything, of nothing first create. Oh heavy lightness, of serious vanity, misshaken chaos of well-seeming forms, feather of lead, bright smoke, cold fire, sick health, still waking sleep, that is not what it is. This love that feel no love in this. Dost thou not laugh?
No, cuz I'd rather weep.
Good heart, at what?
At thy good heart's oppression.
Wise, such is love's transgression. Griefs of mine own lay heavy in my breast, which thou wilt propagate to have it pressed. With more of thine, this love that thou hast shown, doth add more grief, too much of my own. Love is a smoke, raised with the fume of sighs, being purged, a fire sparkling in lovers' eyes, being vexed, a sea, nourished with lovers' tears. What is it else? A madness, most discreet, a choking gall, and a preserving sweet. Farewell, my cuz.
Soft. I will go along. And if you lead me so, you do me wrong.
Tut, I've lost myself. I'm not here. This is not Romeo. He is some otherwhere.
Tell me, in sadness, who do you love?
What shall I groan and tell thee?
Groan! Well, no, but sadly tell me who.
Let a sick man in sadness make his will. Word ill urged to one that is so ill. In sadness, woman. In sadness, cousin, I do love a woman.
I admit so near when I suppose you loved.
Right good mark, man. And she's fair that I love.
A right fair mark, fair cuz. As soon as hit.
Well, in that hit, you miss. Shall not be hit. With Cupid's arrow she hath Dian's wit. And in strong proof of chastity well armed, from love's weak childish bow she lives unharmed. She will not stay the siege of loving arms, nor bide the encounter of assailing eyes, nor op her lap to saints seducing gold. Oh, she is rich in beauty, only poor, that she, when she dies with beauty, dies her store.
Then she hath sworn that she will still live chaste.
She hath, and in that sparing makes huge waste for beauty, starved with her severity, cuts beauty off from all prosperity. She is too fair to wise, and wisely too fair to merit bliss by making me despair. She hath forsworn to love, and in that vow do I live dead, and that live to tell it now.
Be ruled by me. Forget to think of her.
Oh, teach me how I should forget to think.
By giving liberty unto thine eyes. Examine other beauties.
'Tis the way to call hers exquisite and question more these happy masks that kiss fair ladies' brows. Being black, put us in mind, they hide the fair. He that is struck and blind cannot forget the precious treasure of his eyesight lost. Show me a mistress that is passing fair. What doth her beauty serve but as a note where I may read who passed that passing fair? Farewell. Thou canst not teach me to forget.
I'll pay that doctrine. or else I'll die in debt.
End scene. All right, thank you for that. That was fabulous to watch. Now we're going to perform the adaptation. It takes place at a LARP. I have adapted it to include as much of the original references, but translated into 2021 sensibilities and with some liberal interpretations, but still keeping the gist of what they are saying. So, with that in mind, we will now present Act 1, Scene 1, A LARP of Edgelords. Let's go ahead and bring in Samson and Gregory. Act 1, Scene 1.
If one of those monsters step 1 inch in this direction, I'll stab them.
Okay, sure. With what?
With my sword.
I've seen you stab things, and you're not exactly fast.
Oh, you haven't seen me pissed. Watch me over there, run over there and fuck them up.
Yeah, run around if you like, but I'm going to tell you, if you look pissed, then they've got you. You know, strong people, they just stand there and chill and don't look bothered because they're strong and cool like that, right?
Yeah, I got it. I mean, I'm Samson, right? I mean, I can take down those Montagues or their ladies with a look.
Well, then again, if you don't actually show brute strength, how could they be afraid of you? You'll look weak.
Oh, if it's a guy, I'll just push him against a wall. If it's girls, I'll push her against a wall.
Whoa. Our job is to handle the guys, but you don't need to talk that way about the women.
I mean, after I fuck the guys, I fuck the women. Am I right?
You mean smack them with your sword?
Like sex. You know what I mean. Besides, I have high charisma stats. It's not going to be that hard.
Hey, look, Montagues are coming. Have sword in your hand just in case.
Samson takes a couple of steps back behind Gregory.
I'll back you up. I'll be within striking distance.
Samson taps Gregory's butt with his boffer weapon to show how close he is.
Okay, stop poking my ass with your sword. And you aren't going to run when my back is turned, are you?
No. Besides, we don't know the technical rules of our skills in this LARP. If they attacked us first, we can claim self-defense.
I am going to stare them down.
I'm going to use the compel skill to get them to fight us.
Well, I'll do the same.
Both Samson and Gregory make a come hither finger gesture that shows that they are compelling. Enter Abraham and Balthazar. They see Samson and Gregory make a gesture, and Abraham and Balthazar defend against it with a middle finger gesture.
Are you trying to compel us?
Yep.
No effect. Are you trying to compel us?
If I use compel power on him and he starts a fight, it'll be his fault, right?
According to the rules, he will totally know that you tried to use the power on him.
I'm not using compel, but I'm using compel in my mind.
Are you trying to start a fight?
Not at all. Can we go?
Say the Montagues are shit.
The Montagues are the shit. Can we go?
They see Benvolio walking down the street.
Hey, see the Capulets are better than the Montagues.
No.
Say the Capulets are better than the Montagues.
Liar.
It's on, you son of a bitch.
They fight. Samson lunges on the offensive towards Abraham and Balthazar. Gregory hangs back, looking for openings where he can poke them, but this leaves Samson to fight both Montagues at once. They nearly flank him, but Gregory comes in from behind and makes defensive blows, barely sparing Samson. Benvolio enters and stops the fight using his sword.
Stop it right now! What the hell are you doing? Put those swords away!
Enter Tybalt. He swaggers towards the commotion and has his sword ready in hand.
Picking on the newbie? Typical Montague. I'm right here, fucker. And I'm ready to cut you.
Look, I was just trying to stop the fight. I'm trying to keep the peace.
You hold a sword and talk of peace. There are 3 things I hate. 1, peace. 2, Montagues. And 3, making lists. Defend yourself!
They fight. several other people join in the fight, some to cause chaos while others try to stop them in vain. The fighting is so aggressive that some of the set decor breaks.
Seriously, you too. Half the reason why this town is overrun by bandits and zombies is because we keep losing our health points and mana just dealing with you.
Enter Lord and Lady Capulet in the middle of the fray. Lord Capulet brandishes his sword.
Don't worry. We're going to end this right now.
You should not be the one fighting. If you die, all of our economic influence and holdings for our clan are gone. Other fighters can do this for you.
This is a matter of honor.
This is a matter of using the last of my healing potions, but whatever.
Enter Lord and Lady Montague with other players in House Montague members trying to hold him back.
Don't hold me back. Don't hold me back.
Okay, pretend to hold him back.
Head storyteller comes into the scene with a Lord Marshal into the fight.
All right, hold. Hold.
Hold.
Hold.
All right, I've already told House Capulet and House Montague no more disrupting the game with PvP roughhousing. All right, this is the third strike, and all those warnings aren't working. If another PvP fight happens between anyone from House Montague or House Capulet, permanent character death. No chance for resurrection. Is that clear?
Yes.
Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Lord
Yes.
Capulet, come with me. We're going to go have a timeout. Lord Montague, a marshal is going to stick by you, and I want to see you after I'm done with Lord Capulet.
Head storyteller exits with Lord Capulet following. Is there any reason for this hold to continue? All right, 3, 2, 1, lay on! Everyone disperses except Lord and Lady Montague and Benvolio and the Marshal, looking over Lord Montague.
Benvolio, what happened? I thought those warnings from the storyteller were going to work.
So some of the new Montague and Capulet players were fighting, and I came over to break it up. Then Tybalt saw that I had my sword out to show that I was serious, and then he used it as an excuse to go all ham, because he's a fucking edgelord. Tybalt was looking for any excuse to show off his fighting skills, because he wasn't even part of the original fight with the new players. And then the storyteller came, and then he bailed, because Tybalt is just a motherfucking edgelord.
Hey, have you seen Romeo today? He wasn't part of the skirmish.
I saw him much earlier today wandering around the campsite. He's just kind of talking to himself, looking a bit moody. When I waved hi to him, he pretended not to notice me, but they ran to the woods. And I was like, okay, you're going through some things, and I don't want to, I'm not going to worry about it.
I admit it. I'm a little worried about Romeo. For the last few games, he's been depressed. And when we invite him out for role-playing scenes to be social, he stays in his tent with the zipper closed and is writing backstories or something in his notebook. And those backstories are a little dark.
Do you know why?
I have no clue.
Would anyone else know?
Well, I talked to some of his other friends that know him better out of character, and they don't know. A few of them say he says everything's fine, even though we know he's not. And not like I'm a therapist or anything, but I don't know how to help him. Because if he could just tell me how to fix the problem, I mean, I'd do it.
Romeo approaches without intention or direction, completely oblivious to the commotion before.
Oh, here comes Romeo. I know you have to go talk to storyteller over at base camp. I'll try and find out what's going on, I guess.
Thanks for dealing with this. I'll go with Lord Montague and the Marshal, and we'll clear things on our end as well. Good luck.
Lord and Lady Montague and the Marshal head towards base camp. Benvolio tries to actively catch Romeo's attention.
Hey, Romeo. Hey, Romeo. What is that?
You're on
Sorry,
mute.
You're on mute. Sorry.
What time is it?
It's 9 a.m.
It's only 9. The day just doesn't end.
Yeah.
Was that my dad?
Oh yeah, but don't worry about it. First, did you drink water?
Yes.
Did you eat food?
Yes.
All right. Did you get enough sleep?
I mean, we're LARPing, so kinda.
Okay. You got your basic needs. So you're lacking something.
The feelings of someone else.
Oh, you're in love.
The opposite.
Uh, you're not in love.
I have feelings for her. She doesn't feel the same way about me.
Benvolio gives him a hug and laughs a little.
Oh man, I've been there. I know what that feels like. It's rough. Hey, you know, this too shall pass.
Can we talk about something else? What time we're gonna grab lunch? And
Romeo sees all the set decor in disarray from the earlier fight.
this chaos of broken stuff feels like my soul. I was trying to be funny. I'm sorry.
No, it is. It was funny. I just feel for you.
Feel what?
I feel bad. I mean, you know, I'm empathic.
No, I'm the pathetic one. I don't need you to be as sad as me because then I will feel doubly guilty, and then we'll both be sad. And I'm gonna go.
Hey, I'm gonna walk with you.
I'm gonna head to the storyteller base camp and ask to play an NPC for a bit to get my head out of this.
Yeah, I can be an NPC with you right now. Okay. By the way, who is it?
I can't say. I mean, it's a girl.
Well, I assumed you were straight, bi, or pan. So yeah, that's what I thought.
And she's pretty.
Hey, you're also pretty. This is not a surprise.
Then I found out she's not into guys. It's a tragedy?
Oh, wow. Okay. I know you're upset, right? But it just means she's not for you, okay?
I know. And it sucks. I can't stop thinking about her. And I know she's obviously not going to be into me, so it's not logical.
All right. So then, I have an idea. Just try to get out there and meet with other girls who like guys.
Yes, but every time I look at other girls, I just keep comparing them to her. There's absolutely no way I can find another girl.
Romeo, oh Romeo, challenge accepted, buddy.
End scene. All right, great, thank you. All right, we're going to move to the original Shakespeare, Act 2, Scene 2, also known as the balcony scene. Give us a moment while I get that out. All right, let's have our Romeo and Juliet enter. Great. All right, and I will turn off my camera and begin. Act 2, Scene 2. Scene 2, Capulet's Orchard. Enter Romeo.
He jested scars that never felt a wound.
Juliet appears above at a window.
But soft. What light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Oh, rise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. It is my lady. Oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks. Yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses. I will answer it. I am too bold. 'Tis not to me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all the heaven, having some business, do entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there? They, in her head, the brightness of her cheek, would shame those stars, as daylight doth a lamp. They would through that airy region stream so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. Oh, see how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek.
I me.
She speaks. Oh, speak again, bright angel. For thou art as glorious to this night being over my head as a winged messenger of heaven unto the white, upturned, wondering eyes of mortals that fall back to gaze upon him when he bestrides the lazy pacing clouds and sails on the bosom of air.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name. Or if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more? Or shall I speak at this?
'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's Montague? It is neither hand nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Oh, be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which he owes without that title. Romeo, doff thy name, and for that name which is no part of thee, take all myself.
I take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth I never will be Romeo.
Man art thou that thus be screened in night, so stumbled on my counsel?
By name, I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself, because it is an enemy to thee. Had I written it, I would tear the word.
My ears have not yet drunk 100 words of that tongue's utterance, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo and a Montague?
Neither, fair saint, if either thee dislike.
How camest thou hither? Tell me, and wherefore? The orchard walls are high and hard to climb, and this place death, considering who thou art, if any of my kinsmen find thee here.
With love's light wings, I did o'erperch these walls, for stony limits cannot hold love out. And what love can do, that dares love attempt. Therefore, thy kinsmen are no let to me.
I will speak to them.
If they do see thee, they will murder thee.
And a word with one of you.
Alack, there lies more peril in thine eye than 20 of their swords.
If I may
Look
ask you,
thou but sweet, and I am proof against their enmity.
I would not for the world if they saw thee here.
Thou consultest with Romeo.
I have night's cloak to hide me from their sight. But that thou love me, let them find me here. My life were better ended by their hate than death prolonged. prorogued, wanting of thy love.
By whose direction foundst thou out this place?
By love, who first did prompt me to inquire, he lent me counsel, and I lent him eyes. I am no pilot, yet wert thou as far as that vast shore washed with the farthest sea, I would venture for such merchandise.
Thou knowst the mask of night is on my face, else would maiden blush bepaint my cheek for that which thou hast heard me speak tonight. Fain would I dwell on form, fain deny what I have spoke, but farewell compliment. Dost thou love me? I know thou wilt say aye, and I will take thy word. Yet, if thou swearest, thou mayest prove false. Of lovers' perjuries, they say Jove laughs. Oh, gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully. Or if thou thinkst I am too quickly won, I'll frown and be perverse and say thee nay, so thou wilt woo, but else not for the world. In truth, fair Montague, I am too fond, and therefore thou mayest think my behavior light. But trust me, gentlemen, I'll prove more true than those that have more cunning to be strange. I should have been more strange, I must confess, but that thou overheardst ere I was ware my true love's passions. Therefore, pardon me, and not impute this yielding to light love which the dark night hath so discovered.
Lady, by yonder blessed moon, I swear that tips with silver all these fruit tree tops.
Oh, swear not by the moon, the inconstant moon that monthly changes in her circled orb, lest that thy love prove likewise variable.
What shall I swear by?
Do not swear at all, or if thou wilt, swear by thy gracious self, which is the god of my idolatry, and I'll believe thee.
If my heart's dear love.
Well, do not swear. Although I joy in thee, I have no joy of this contract tonight. It is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden, too like the lightning which doth cease to be ere one can say it lightens. Sweet good night. This bud of love by summer's ripening breath may prove a beauteous flower when next we meet. Good night. Good night. Sweet repose and rest come to thy heart as that within my breast.
Oh, wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have tonight?
The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine.
I gave thee mine before thou didst request it, and yet I would it were to give again.
Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love?
But to be frank, and give it thee again. And yet I wish for but the thing I have. My bounty is as boundless as the sea. My love is deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have. For both are infinite.
Juliet?
There's some noise within. Dear love, adieu. Anon, good nurse. Sweet Montague, be true. Stay but a little, I will come again.
Oh, blessed night. I'm afeard being in this night that this solitary, too flattering sweet to be substantial.
3 words, dear Romeo, and good night indeed. If that thy bent of love be honorable, thy purpose marriage, send me word tomorrow. By one I'll prove it come to thee, where and what time thou wilt perform the rite, and all my fortunes at thy foot I'll lay, and follow thee, my lord, throughout the world.
Madam!
I come anon, but if thou meanst not well, I do beseech thee.
Madam!
By and by I come, to cease thy suit, and leave me to my grief. Tomorrow will I send.
So thrive my soul.
1,000 times good night.
1,000 times the worst to want thy light. Love goes toward love as schoolboys from their books, but love from love toward school with heavy looks.
Hist, Romeo, hist. Oh, for a falconer's voice to lure that tassel gentle back again. Bondage is hoarse and may not speak aloud, else I would fear the cave where Echo lies and make her airy tongue more hoarse than mine with repetition of my Romeo's name.
It is my soul that calls upon my name. How silver sweet sound lovers' tongues by night, like softest music to attending ears.
Romeo,
My dear,
what o'clock tomorrow shall I send to thee?
at the hour of 9.
I will not fail. 'Tis 20 years till then. I forgot why I did call thee back.
Let me stand here till thou remember it.
I shall forget to have thee still stand there, remembering how I love thy company.
And I'll still stay to have thee still forgetting any other home but this.
'Tis almost morning. I would have thee gone, and yet no further than a wanton's bird who lets it hop a little from her hand, like a poor prisoner in his twisted gyves, and with a silk thread plucks it back again, so loving jealous of his liberty.
I would I were thy bird.
Sweet, so would I, yet I should kill thee with much cherishing. Good night, good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night until it be morrow.
Sleep dwell upon thine eyes. Peace in thy breast. Would I were to sleep, and peace so sweet to rest. Hence will I to my ghostly father's cell, his help to crave, and my dear hap to tell.
And end scene. Oops, thank you. All right, now we're going to turn around and do the adaptation of this. And so we're going to do this again. And we need Romeo. There we go. And now, Act 2, Scene 2 from A LARP of Edgelords, the adaptation of Romeo and Juliet. Act 2, Scene 2, Capulet's Orchard.
Mercutio's never been in love and has no idea what he's talking about.
He sees Juliet on the balcony of a 2-story wooden structure surrounded by various tents of Capulet players and their allies.
Oh, shit! She's right there! She looks brighter than the moon. And I am keenly aware the goddess of the moon is not into guys. So I hope to God you are into guys, because I cannot handle being rejected by lesbians twice today. Oh, she's saying something? I can't read lips from here. If I can just get close enough to hear her. Oh, in my head, this was so much easier when I were pretending you were the night sky. She's wearing gloves, holding her head with one palm. What I would give to be a glove to touch that cheek.
God, why?
More words. It's surreal how being on the second floor feels miles away.
God, why did Romeo have to be part of House Montague? I mean, can't he just write in his backstory that he belongs to another clan? Or maybe if I know how he really feels and he can't change his character, maybe I just put away my character and create a new one instead?
Should I say something here?
It's normally complicated because your character is part of House Montague. I'm interested in you. It just doesn't matter what your name is. I mean, Montague is just on our character sheet. It's not your hand, foot, arm, or any other place I can strike for 5 points of damage with my +3 weapon. What's in a name? The rose would smell just as sweet if we called it any other name. You're not going to be any less perfect if you were not called Romeo, but maybe if you played another character, then there'd be no conflict and we could just be together.
I'll do it. If you really like me like that, I'll make a new character sheet and no longer play Romeo.
Okay, who's being a creeper and stalking me right now?
Oh, the guy who doesn't have a name anymore because I ripped that off my character sheet.
Wait, I know that voice. Romeo? Like Romeo Montague?
It's not if you don't want it to be.
Why are you here? This is the Capulet building, and all of the Capulet players are all over this area. House Capulet issued a kill on sight order on all Montagues.
You could say love brought me to you. But I I also know the defenses of this area pretty well. I know where the openings are in some of the stone flats. And I know the overwhelming odds against the other Capulet players.
They really will kill you.
You rejecting me will be more painful than all of their swords.
Still, I don't want them to find you here.
It's dark, and I have advantage in stealth. And if they found me here, I'd rather be dead than find out you didn't like me.
So answer me this. How did you get here?
Again, I could say love, but I know the game site pretty well, and right now, you're the only site that I'd like to get to know better.
I know you can't see me, but I am totally blushing right now because if I knew you were there, I'd be more eloquent, but someone has to invade my privacy. I mean, do you like me? Like me? Okay, if you say yeah, I believe you, but if you swear that you love me, then I'm gonna assume you just want romantic RP because no one says that for reals. Also, you're tempting fate if you say that. And don't think I'm easy because I will make you work for it. You know, fetch me bottles of water after fights, get me the occasional chocolate that didn't melt in the sun, buy me that defense +5 necklace that I've always wanted, etc. To be honest, you pop up in my mind a lot. Yeah, I'm a total dork. Dork enough to be really good at politics in a LARP. You know what though? It's really unfair. You get to know everything I'm feeling because you have real life stealth. So sorry, not sorry if it's weird, but I'm not taking any of it back. You'll have to deal.
I swear to the moon and back.
Oh my
that-
God, do not swear to by the moon. The moon has lunar cycles, which is traditionally associated with the goddess Diana and is also associated with the divine feminine, which is linked with women because of our red tide every month. Not gonna lie, it's why I need the chocolate. And if you can't handle this kind of conversation, this is what I'm like when I'm not a pretty princess. Just don't swear by the moon, period.
What should I swear by?
Nothing, just be a man and mean what you say.
Well, if you say so, then I'll.
Okay, just hold on. It's late at night. We just met, and we're going a little bit too fast to make grand gestures like these. I love doing romantic RP, but I might actually have feelings, so we need to stop right here. I'm gonna go to bed, so I bid you a good night.
Wait. You're just gonna leave me here, standing like that, before we end the scene?
How else did you want to end the scene?
Something romantic sounding that ends the scene perfectly.
I mean, I've already consented to romantic roleplay. I just wish I did that actively, but that still works.
Do you need to take it back?
I'd only do it again for the opportunity to do it better, but it's okay. But in my mind, there'd be a walk along the river part of the campsite. You and I alone, I turn to you with song lyrics from some popular emo band you'd recognize, and you'd say, yeah, stage kiss, stage kiss.
Juliet hears someone calling from her inside the second story building.
It's LARP mom checking on me. Coming. Stay a bit. I'll get her to go away and I'll be right back.
This is unreal. This is unreal. No one does this in real life. And watch, it's gonna be a dream, and I'm gonna wake up. Not soon, I hope, though.
Hey, so listen, if you're really serious about this and you actually want our characters to be married, then we can you know.
Whoa, whoa! I just wanted to see if you were up for going on a date. That's all.
Yeah, but I thought about it. If our characters are potentially going to die because our families are at war with each other, we might as well just get married because I'm not risking all of this drama just to go on a date. I'm not a halfway kind of girl.
Shit. No, you are not.
So if you want to do this, just tell me when you want to meet and where, and we need to go find a priest so we can at least gain the permanent true love blessing advantage and have the storytellers sign off on it.
Juliet!
I'm on the phone.
I don't know how your phone is going off.
Oh shit, I gotta deal with this now. I will send one of my friends who's available to get when and where to meet from you.
I'll be on the lookout.
1,000 times good night.
It's going to feel like 1,000 years until tomorrow.
Thank God it turned out not to be my phone, but I can't talk too loud or else Larp Mom and the other Capulets will think I'm sus. So this is me in ASMR mode.
You in ASMR mode. It's kind of hot.
What time should I send someone to you?
Around 9 in the morning.
Yeah, I forgot there's something I wanted to tell you.
I'll wait.
I totally forgot. I don't want the scene to end.
Neither do I.
But look, it's almost morning. I at least want to get a few hours of sleep with this LARP. If it were just me, I'd just lock you up in a dungeon and just to know that you were here.
Kinky.
Oh wow. Oh wow, that came out of my mouth out loud. No, I know it is time for me to go sleep. This is one of those phone calls where neither of us wants to be the first to hang up, isn't it? So I'm gonna call it good night for real this time. Romeo, parting is such sweet sorrow.
All right, an end scene. Thank you for that. Next, we are going to go to the original Shakespeare, Act 2, Scene 4. All right. Let me get that out. And I need Benvolio and Mercutio. All right, great. When I turn off my camera, we will begin. Act 2, Scene 4, a street. Enter Benvolio and Mercutio.
Where the devil should this Romeo be? Came he not home tonight?
Not to his father's. I spoke with his man.
That same pale, hard-hearted wench, that Rosalind, torments him so that he will sure run mad.
Tybalt, the kinsman of the old Capulet, had sent a letter to his father's house.
A challenge on my life.
Romeo will answer it.
Any man that may write can answer a letter.
Nay, he will answer the letter's master how he dares, being dead.
Alas, poor Romeo. He's already dead, stabbed with the white wench's black eye, shot through the ear with a love song, the very pin of his heart cleft with the blind bowboy's butt shaft. And is he a man to encounter Tybalt?
Why, what is Tybalt?
More than the Prince of Cats, I can tell you. Oh, he's the courageous captain of compliments. He fights as you sing prick song, keeps time, distance, and proportion, rests his minim rest, 1, 2, and the third in your bosom. The very butcher of a silk button, a duelist, a gentleman of the very first house of the first and second cause, the immortal passado, the punto reverso, the high.
The what?
The pox of such lisping and antic affecting fantasticos, these new tuners of accents. Why, by Jesu, a very good blade, a very tall man, a very good whore. Why, is it not a lamentable thing, grandsire, that we should be thus afflicted with these strange fly, these fashion-mongers, these pardonnemois, who stand so much on the new form that they cannot at ease on the old bench? Their bones, their bones.
Enter Romeo.
Here comes Romeo. Here comes Romeo.
Without his roe, like a dried herring. Ah, flesh, flesh, how thou art fishified. Now is he for the numbers that Petrarch flowed in. Laura to his lady was but Was the kitchen wench, Mary, she had a better love to be rhyme her. Dido a dowdy, Cleopatra a vagabond, Helen and Hero hildings and harlots. This be a grey eye or so, but not to the purpose. Signor Romeo, bonjour. There's a French salutation for your French slop. You gave us the counterfeit fairly last night.
Morrow to you both. What counterfeit did I give you?
The slip, sir, the slip. Can you not conceive?
Pardon, good Mercutio. My business was great. And in such a case as mine, a man may stray in courtesy.
That's as much to say such a case as yours constrains a man to bow in the hams.
Meaning to courtesy,
Thou hast most kindly hit it.
a most courteous exposition.
Nay, I am the very pink of courtesy.
Pink for flower.
Right.
Why is then my pump well flowered?
Well said. Follow me in this jest now till thou hast worn out thy pump. Now when the single soul of it is worn, the jest may remain after the wearing soul singular.
Oh, single soul jest solely singular for the singleness.
Come between us, good Benvolio, my wits faint.
Switch and spurs, or I'll cry a match.
Nay, if thy wits run the wild goose chase, I have done. For thou hast more of the wild goose chase in one of thy wits than I am sure I have in my whole 5. Was I with you there for the goose?
Thou wast never with me for anything when thou wast not there for the goose.
I will bite thee by the ear for that jest.
Hey, good goose. Bite not.
Thy wit is most bitter sweeting. It is a most sharp sauce.
And is it not well served to a sweet goose?
Oh, here's a wit of Chevreul that stretches from an inch narrow to an ell broad.
I stretch it out for that word broad which added to the goose proves thee far and wide a broad goose.
Oh, why is this not better than groaning for love? Now art thou sociable, now art thou Romeo. Now art thou what thou art, by art as well as nature. And this driveling love is like a great natural that runs lolling up and down to hide his bauble in a hole.
I stop there.
Thou desirest me to stop in my tail against the hair.
Thou wouldst else have made thy tail large.
Thou art deceived. I would have made it short, for I was come to the whole depth of my tale, and meant, indeed, to occupy the argument no longer.
Here's goodly gear.
Enter Nurse and Peter. Enter Nurse and Peter.
A sail.
Two, a shirt and a smock.
Peter!
Anon.
My fan, Peter.
Good Peter to hide her face, for the fan's the fairer face.
God ye morrow, gentlemen.
God ye good den, fair gentlewoman.
Is it good den?
'Tis no less, I tell you, for the body hand at the dial is now upon the prick of noon.
Out upon you, what a man are you?
One gentlewoman that God hath made for himself to mar.
By thy troth, it is well said for himself to mar, quotha. Gentlemen, can any of you tell me where I may find the young Romeo?
I can tell you. But young Romeo will be older when you found him than he was when you sought him. I am the youngest of that name, for fault of a worse.
You say well.
Yea, is the worst well? Very well taken, faith. Wisely.
If you be he, sir, I desire some confidence with you.
She will indict him to some supper.
A bod? A bod, so!
What hast thou found?
No hair, sir, unless a hair, sir, in a Lenten pie. That is something stale and hoar ere to be spent. An old hair hoard and an old hair hoard is a very good meal in Lent, but a hair that is hoar is too much for a score when a whore is ere to be spent. Romeo, will you come to your father's? Will to dinner thither?
I will follow you.
Farewell, ancient lady, farewell. Lady, lady, lady.
Exons Mercutio and Benvolio.
Farewell. I pray you, sir, what saucy merchant was this that was so full of his ropery?
A gentleman nurse that loves to hear himself talk and will speak more in a minute than he will stand to in a month.
Speak a thing against me, I'll take him down. I were lustier than he is with 20 such jacks, and if I cannot, I will find those that shall. Scurvy knave! I am none of his flirt girls, I am none of his schemes mates, and thou must stand by it too. And must thou stand by it too, Peter, and suffer every knave to use me at his pleasure?
I saw no man use you a pleasure. If I had, my movement should be quickly been out. I warrant you. I dare draw as soon as another man, if I see occasion a good quarrel, and the law on my side.
Now, for God, I am so vexed that every put about me quivers. Scurvy knave! I pray you, sir, a word. As I told you, my young lady bade me inquire you out. What she bade me say I will keep to myself, but first let me tell you, if ye should lead her into a fool's paradise, as they say, if it were a very gross kind of behavior, as they say, for the gentlewoman is young, and therefore, if you should deal double with her, it truly were an ill thing to be offered to any gentlewoman, and very weak dealing.
Nurse, commend me to thy lady and mistress. I protest unto thee that
Good heart, and in faith I will tell her as much. Lord, she will be a joyful woman.
what will you tell her, nurse? Thou dost not mark me.
I will tell her, sir, that you do protest, which, as I take it, is a gentlemanlike offer.
Uh, bid her devise some means to come to Shrift this afternoon, and there she shall, at Friar Lawrence's cell, be shrived and married. Here, this is for thy pains.
No, truly, sir, not a penny.
Go to, I say you shall.
This afternoon, sir? Well, she shall be there.
And stay, good nurse, behind the abbey wall, within this hour, my man shall be with thee, and bring the cords made like a tackled stair, to which the top high gallant of my joy must be my convoy in the secret night. Farewell. Be trusty, and I'll quit thy pains. Farewell. Commend me to thy mistress.
Now, gods in heavens bless thee. Oh, hark you, sir.
Huh? What sayest thou, my dear nurse?
Is your man discreet? Did you ne'er hear say two may keep counsel, putting one away?
I warrant thee, my man's as true as steel.
Well, sir, my mistress is the sweetest lady. Well, Lord, when she was a little prattling thing. Oh, there's a nobleman in town, one Paris, that would fain lay knife abroad, but she, good soul, had a leaf to see a toad, a very toad as I see him. I anger her sometimes and tell her that Paris is a proper man, but I warrant you, when I say so, she looks as pale as any cloud in the versal world. Doth not Rosemary and Romeo both begin with a letter?
I, nurse? What of that? They both start with an R?
Mocker, that was the dog's name. Ours for the. No, it begins with some other letter, and she had the prettiest sentence. Stuff it of you and Rosemary, and that it would do you good to hear it.
Commend me to thy lady.
1,000 times. Peter!
Romeo.
Anon.
Peter, take my fan and go before on a pace.
And end scene. Thank you. Now we're going to do the adapted version of Act 2, Scene 4. Let's get over to that. And we're going to be starting with Mercutio and Benvolio again. Great. Okay, now I'm going to turn off my camera.
Where the hell is Romeo? Wasn't he in his tent last night?
Nope, he wasn't anywhere at the Montague campsite.
He's so hard up for Rosalind. He's got to let this go. She's not interested.
BT Dubs, Tybalt sent a message by courier to our campsite this morning.
I bet it's a challenge for a duel. He's very duel-y.
Yeah, Tybalt is duly predictable, but Romeo's probably gonna take him up on it because he likes fighting one-on-one. His character's built for it.
Romeo's fucked. He's been dumped, but not really dumped because in order to be dumped, you have to be dating in the first place. Is he even in the right headspace to fight Tybalt?
What's the big deal with Tybalt?
You don't understand. Tybalt won the last 3 sword fighting tournaments. I think he's actually a fencer or does SCA stuff or something because his timing's pretty damn good. He's got the feint skill, parry, riposte, dodge, 5-strike, and a bunch of other fighting skills.
Oh, I didn't even know what some of those fighting skills are.
Oh, never mind. He's no threat at all. He just stands there and looks pretty, and then they run right into his sword. They run into his sword 10 times. They had it coming. They had it coming.
Enter Romeo.
Ah, okay, here comes Romeo.
Yep, here comes Romeo. Mr. Rosalind is more smart and blonde than Elle Woods in Legally Blonde, or Mr. Rosalind defies more gravity than Idina Menzel, or Mr. Rosalind is the Peggy to my Angelica and Eliza. By the way, Romeo, you left us like cheap whores last night, so we're allowed to hate you.
Wait, why do you hate me?
You left us last night. It's like that saying, bros before, well, me.
I had to take care of some important business last night.
More important than us? How dare you treat your boyfriends like this?
Hey, if you gave better blowjobs.
Oh, then we'd actually be dating, right?
I can't because you're just too much man for me.
Yet surprisingly, I'm a bottom.
Which explains your nickname. Bottomless Pit?
That's my Kid Icarus cosplay name.
You in a toga and diapers? That's like your dream wedding outfit.
Huh, me in diapers. Depends.
I'm stopping right there. Not into that.
All right, this is so much better. This is the Romeo we know and love. So much better than depressed Romeo, and we're worried about you, man.
LARP Mom approaches with an outfit with an oversized train, and Peter helps her out.
All right, everyone, hold on.
There's a hold?
No, sorry. Not a hold. Look, there's a big ship coming at 2:00.
Who is it? I'm writing him first.
No, you corny toad. The Capulet LARP Mom is wearing a lot of excess fabric. No one should wear a train that large at a LARP.
I have a train that large at LARP.
Oh, boy.
Sir, please keep grabbing the back of the dress until I can get to my sewing machine and restitch this bustle.
Got it.
Don't get it dirty. Hold it with both arms now. It's not going to bite you.
Wow, her butt is so big, she has a servant carrying it for her.
Good morrow, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, gentlewoman.
Afternoon?
It has to be at least noon. My hard-on isn't casting a shadow.
Rude. What kind of man are you?
I am made to ruin other men.
You said it, not me. By the way, where can I find someone named Romeo?
If he's in trouble, he's probably around here somewhere. But I have no idea. If he's not, then I'm Romeo.
Cute.
Yeah, I'd say 7 out of 10.
I need to talk to you privately.
She's gonna ask him out on a date.
Leon is never going to be the same after this.
So, what's going on?
Mercutio and Benvolio crowd closer.
Come on, guys. Some privacy, please.
Fine. We'll be at Lord Montague's grabbing Gatorades from the LARP cooler. Hydrate or dihydrate.
Okay, be right there.
Okay, lady. Bye.
Mercutio and Benvolio exit.
Okay. That guy. Why?
Oh, he loves to hear himself talk. And he does musical theater.
Hey, I know musical theater kids, and that guy is trying way too hard to make dick jokes about everything. I have two boys like him at home. I mean, we get it. We get it. You're here. You're queer. I'm used to it. And you, Peter, how come you didn't defend my honor here?
Because he wasn't threatening you with a sword. I'm holding your butt.
Hey, I am so done right now. But I'm here to do a thing, so here it goes. Romeo, a certain young lady sent me to find you. If you have a particular message to tell her, I'm not going to tell you what she told me to tell her about you, but I'm going to tell you right here now. If you mistreat her, mislead her in any way, play with her emotions of this young girl or any young girl, I will tear your fucking balls off.
What?
So, what do you want me to tell her?
I would like my balls to stay where they are. Really, I have the best of intentions. I mean no harm.
I would like to believe you.
I would like to convince you.
So, what is the message you need me to tell my young lady?
Oh, tell her to go to Friar Lawrence's church to get a blessing of protection. And then, while she's there, I'll show up, and then we can get married. But for the true love's blessing merit, of course.
Romeo pulls some coins from his pocket.
And here's for your trouble.
No, it's totally fine.
No, I insist.
LARP Mom put the coinage in her cleavage.
Okay, I'll make sure she gets there.
Great. I have somebody who can cast an invisibility spell in case Juliet needs help getting out. Oh, and there's just more in it for you if you can keep helping us out.
Is your friend good at keeping this hush hush? I mean, you know what I'm saying, two can keep a secret if one of them is dead.
No, he's good. I mean, we're sharing these secrets with you, and you're not dead.
Okay, that's different. I'm not trying to get with her. Speaking of getting with her, just so you know, there's another guy courting her, Count Paris, who is a toad, and Juliet would rather die than marry him. I occasionally tease her by saying, "Oh, he's so much more perfect for you than Romeo is," and she gets this little vein in her forehead that pops. It's hilarious. Oh, wait, doesn't Rover also and Romeo both start with the letter R?
What? Sure.
So Juliet made up this little ditty where she calls you a rover. Oh no, wait, she was singing the Wild Rover. You should hear her sing Wild Rover.
Okay. Don't forget to let Juliet know our plan.
Of course. Peter!
Yes!
Grab my skirt and walk ahead of me so I know you're not dragging my butt in the dirt.
And scene. Thank you. Now we're going to go to our fourth and final scene we're presenting today. Act 3, Scene 1. We're going to start off with the original Shakespeare. Give me a moment. Let's go and get that ready. All right, I need Mercutio and Benvolio. Great. Scene will begin when I turn off my camera. Act 3, Scene 1. Scene 1, a public place. Enter Mercutio, Benvolio, page, and servants.
I pray thee, good Mercutio, let's retire. The day is hot, the Capulets abroad, and if we meet, we shall not escape a brawl. For now, these hot days is the mad blood stirring.
Thou art like one of those fellows that when he enters the confines of a tavern, claps his sword on the table, and says, God sent me no need of thee, and by the operation of the second cup draws it on the drawer when indeed there is no such need.
Am I like such a fellow?
Come, thou art as hot a jack in thy mood as any in Italy, and as soon moved to be moody, and as soon moody is to be moved.
And what too?
Nay, and if there were two such, we should have none shortly, for one would kill the other. Thou wilt quarrel with a man that hath a hair more or a hair less in his beard than thou hast. Thou wilt quarrel with a man for cracking nuts, having no other reason, but because thou hast hazel eyes. What eye but such an eye would spy out such a quarrel? Thy head is as full of quarrels as an egg is full of meat, and yet thy head hasn't beaten as addle as an egg for quarreling. Thou hast quarrelled with a man for coughing in the street, because he hath wakened thy dog that hath lain asleep in the sun. Didst thou not fall out with the tailor for wearing his new doublet before Easter, and another for tying his new shoes with old ribbon? And yet you will tour me from quarreling.
And I was so apt to quarrel as thou art. Any man should buy the fee simple of my life for an hour and a quarter.
The fee simple? Oh, simple.
By my head, here come the Capulets.
By my heel, I care not.
Enter Tybalt and the others.
Follow me close, for I will speak to them. Gentlemen, good den, a word with one of thee?
And but one word with one of us? Couple it with something, make it a word and a blow.
You shall find me apt enough to that, sir. And you will give me occasion.
Could you not take some occasion without giving?
Mercutio, thou consortest with Romeo.
Consort? What, dost thou make us minstrels? And thou make minstrels of us, look to hear nothing but discords. Here's my fiddlestick. There, that shall make you dance. Sounds consort.
We talk here in the public haunt of men. Either withdraw into some private place and reason coldly of your grievances, or else depart. Here all eyes gaze upon us.
Men's eyes were made to gaze, and let them look. I will not budge for any man's pleasure eye.
Enter Romeo.
Well, peace be with you, sir. Here comes my man.
But I'll be hanged, sir, if he wears your livery. Marry, go before the field, he'll be your follower. Your worship in that sense may call him man.
Romeo, the hate I bear thee can afford no better term than this. Thou art a villain.
Tybalt, the reason that I have to love thee doth much excuse the appertaining rage to such a greeting. Villain, I am none. Therefore, farewell. I see thou knowest me not.
Boy, this shall not excuse the injuries that thou hast done me. Therefore, turn and draw.
I do protest I never injured thee, but love thee better than thou canst devise, till thou shalt know the reason of my love, and so, good Capulet, which name I tender as dearly as my own, be satisfied.
Oh, come, dishonorable vile submission. A la staccata carries it away.
Draws.
Tybalt, you rat catcher, will you walk?
What wouldst thou have with me?
Oh, good king of cats, nothing but one of your 9 lives. That I mean to make bold withal, and as you shall use me hereafter, dry beat the rest of the 8. Will you pluck your sword out of his pitcher by the ears? Make haste, lest mine be about your ears ere it be out.
I am for thee.
Drawing.
Gentle Mercutio, put thy rapier up.
Come, sir, you're passado.
They fight.
No. Draw up, Benvolio. Beat down their weapons. Gentlemen, for shame! Forbear this outrage! Tybalt, Mercutio, the prince expressly hath forbidden bandying in Verona streets. Hold, Tybalt, good Mercutio!
Tybalt, under Romeo's arm, stabs Mercutio and flies with his followers.
I am hurt. A plague on both your houses I am sped. Is he gone and hath nothing?
What? Art thou hurt?
A scratch. There, 'tis enough. Where is my page? Go, villain, fetch a surgeon.
Exit
Courage,
page.
man. The hurt cannot be much.
No. 'Tis not as deep as a well, nor as wide as a church door, but 'Tis enough. 'Twill serve. Ask for me tomorrow, and ye shall find me a grave man. I am peppered, I warrant, for this world. A plague on both your houses, hounds. A dog, a rat, a mouse to scratch a man to death. A braggart, a rogue, a villain that fights by the book of arithmetic. Why the devil came you between us? I was hurt under your arm.
I thought all for the best.
Help me into some house, Benvolio, or I shall faint. A plague of both your houses. They have made worms meat of me, I have it. And soundly too. Your houses!
Exeunt Mercutio and Benvolio.
This gentleman, the prince's near ally, my very dear friend, hath got his mortal hurt in my behalf, my reputation stained with Tybalt's slander. Tybalt but an hour hath been my kinsman. Oh, sweet Juliet, thy beauty hath made me effeminate, and my temper softened in valor's steel.
Re-enter Benvolio.
Oh, Romeo. Romeo, brave Mercutio is dead. That gallant spirit hath espied the clouds which too untimely here did scorn the earth.
It's black. This day's black fate. On more days doth depend. This but begins the woe. Others must end.
Here comes the furious Tybalt back again.
Alive, in triumph, and Mercutio slain, away to heaven, respective leniency, and fire-eyed fury be my conduct now. Now, Tybalt, take the villain back again, that late thou gavest me, for Mercutio's soul is but a little way over our heads, staying for thine to keep him company. Either thou, or I, or both must go with him.
Thou wretched boy, thou did consort him here. Shalt with him hence.
This shall determine that.
They fight. Tybalt falls.
Romeo! Be away! Gone! The citizens are up. A Tybalt slain? Stand not amazed. The prince will doom thee to death if thou art taken hence. Be gone! Away!
Oh, I am fortune's fool.
Why dost thou stay?
Exit Romeo. Enter citizens.
Which way ran he that killed Mercutio? Tybalt, that murderer, which way ran he?
There lies the Tybalt.
Up, sir, go with me. I charge thee in the prince's name, obey.
Enter Prince, attended with Montague, Capulet, Lady Montague, Lady Capulet, and others.
Where are the vile beginners of this fray?
Oh, noble prince, I can discover all. The unlucky man to this fatal brawl. There lies the man slain by young Romeo that slew thy kinsman, brave Mercutio.
Tybalt, my cousin, oh my brother's child, oh prince, oh cousin, husband, oh the blood is spilled of my dear kinsman. Prince, as thou art true, for blood of our shed, blood of Montague. Oh cousin, cousin!
Benvolio, who began this bloody fray?
Tybalt, here slain, whom Romeo's hand did slay. Romeo that spoke him fair, bade him bethink how nice the quarrel was, and urged withal your high displeasure. All this uttered, with gentle breath, calm look, knees humbly bowed, could not take the truce with the unruly spleen of Tybalt, deaf to peace, but that he tilts with piercing steel at bold Mercutio's breast. who all his heart turned steadily point to point, and with the martial scorn with one hand beats cold death aside, with the other sends it back to Tybalt, whose dexterity retorts it. Romeo, he cries aloud, "Hold, friends! Friends, part!" And swifter than his tongue, his agile arms beat down the vital points, and twixt them rushes underneath, whose arm and envious thrusts from Tybalt hit the life of stout Mercutio. And then Tybalt fled. But by and by comes back to Romeo, who had but newly entertained revenge, and to it they go like lightning, for ere I could draw the part of them, was stout Tybalt slain. And as he fell, did Romeo turn and fly. This is the truth. Or let Benvolio die.
He is a kinsman to the Montague. Affection makes him false. He speaks not true. Some 20 of them fought in this black strife, and all those 20 could kill but one life? I beg for justice, which thou, prince, must give. Romeo slew Tybalt. Romeo must not live.
Romeo slew him. He slew Mercutio, who now the price of his dear blood doth owe.
Not Romeo, Prince. He was Mercutio's friend. His fault concludes but what the law should end, the life of Tybalt.
And for that offense, immediately we do exile him hence. I have an interest in your hates proceeding. My blood for your rude brawls doth lie a-bleeding, but I'll amends you with so strong a fine that you shall all repent the loss of mine. I will be deaf to pleading and excuses, nor tears nor prayers shall purchase out abuses, therefore use none. Let Romeo hence in haste, else when he's found, that hour is his last. Bear hence this body, and attend our will. Mercy but murders, pardoning those that kill.
End scene. Thank you. Now we're going to go to the adaptation, A LARP of Edgelords, with Act 3, Scene 1. Let's go ahead and bring that out. And we will need Mercutio and Benvolio. Okay, here you are. All right, I'll go ahead and start reading the description. Setting: a public place near the fountain, or in this case, next to a few cases of water bottles at a hydration station, but still an in-play game area.
Come on, Mercutio, it's hot as balls out here, and if we come across a Capulet, they'll want to fight out here in the dust and the heat. I don't want to be sweaty and dirty and tired right now.
Oh, I know you. It's too hot. I'm so sweaty. And then you turn around and go, "There's a fight coming. To arms! To arms!"
I'm not like that.
You don't even need 2 arms to fight. One of the other Montagues just duct tape a sword to your ab, and you just did side crunches. It was like 2 abs, 2 abs. It was hot. It was also hot.
Benvolio grabs a water bottle and pours water on his head to cool himself down.
Ah, Jesus.
Benvolio sighs with relief.
And let's not forget about the time Romeo called you a crack nut. So you screamed, "Okay, let's go!" And the 2 of you ripped off your shirts and rolled around in the dust for 5 minutes. I have the cell phone pictures to prove it.
Hey, okay, for the record, it's not a cracked nut. Okay, Romeo called me a nutcracker because Ballet gave me, some thick thighs. And I'm not that much of a himbo, okay? So
You are that much of a himbo. And spank bank material.
What? Oh shit, Capulets are coming.
Okay, so just chill.
Enter Tybalt with other Capulet players. Mercutio has his back turned, pretending not to care about the Capulets, and pours water on himself to cool down.
Wait right here. I'll deal with them. Hey, can I have a word with one of you?
A word? You mean like backstab 10 damage?
If you want, except for I would stab you in the front like a man and you would take it.
Oh, you are such a giver.
Mercutio, I know that you hang with Romeo.
Well, it's you who shall be hanged, because I'm already hung.
Slight delay. Tybalt plays on the fact that Mercutio is thirsty, but is uncomfortable in flirt RP in public.
um, we can clash swords in a private place if you want, but it's no spectator sport.
Mercutio moves closer to rub his boffer sword on Tybalt's boffer sword.
Oh, think of it as slash fiction. They know what they're getting into if they're watching.
Mercutio and Tybalt fight. This is more like play fighting where Mercutio jabs with his sword and Tybalt returns the blows. There's more flaunting and showing off their fancy techniques and one-upping each other, performing for an audience. Enter Romeo. When Tybalt sees Romeo, he drops the performance and runs over to talk to him.
Ah, Romeo, just the guy I was waiting for.
How dare you leave me for another guy? He doesn't even play for your team.
Romeo grabs a water bottle and downs it as Tybalt points a sword at him.
You are a villain.
I get why you believe I am one. I don't actually have anything against you at all. So I'm just going to yeet myself now that I got my water.
You have insulted me, and by the rules, I invoke a challenge.
I didn't do anything to you. I even have reasons why I like you, like the other Capulets. So I hope that's good enough, and I bid you fondue.
Romeo bows in a flourish, and the people around watching applaud in a golf clap.
Well, now that the intermission is over, Tybalt, I have a boner to pick with you.
Mercutio extends his sword, deliberately pointed at Tybalt's torso.
What now?
I want to take you down.
Performance with no climax? No more bark with no bite? More talk and less action?
I want to take you down. I want to say that I beat the best boffer player in this LARP. I want to say I topped you.
Top me. You wish. You're not gonna let this go, are you?
No.
Tybalt opens his arms wide.
All right then. Come at me, bro.
Put away your sword.
When you pry it from my cold dead hands.
Mercutio is the first to charge. Tybalt calmly parries Mercutio's blows. Mercutio's strikes are so exaggerated by emotion that they telegraph too easily. Tybalt likewise thrusts his sword at Mercutio, but Mercutio doesn't block. He evades, using up his high energy. On occasion, he roll dodges to show off. Each face looks determined.
Benvolio, help me. Guys, stop. The storyteller has already warned us if we keep doing PvP, he's going to kill off our characters. Tybalt, stop!
Tybalt sees the storytelling staff approach, and he and his attendants quickly run.
Mercutio.
Storyteller walks into frame, walks straight towards Mercutio.
Hold!
Hold.
Mercutio, can I see your character sheet?
Mercutio pulls out his character sheet from his pocket. The storyteller rips it up in front of everyone.
I'm dead serious. We warned everyone on, no PvP.
The storyteller leaves.
Plague on both your houses. And Tybalt wasn't even caught!
Are you okay?
It's just a character sheet. I mean, of course, I'm not happy about it. It's just Go get me a pen and paper. I'll make a new one.
Yeah, of course. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm in physical pain or anything, or that you actually killed me, but man, this sucks. I, I, I didn't die from a proper death. A storyteller just ripped up my sheet. Why didn't the storyteller get Tybalt too? You could have said something, Romeo. You could have vouched for me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking about it.
You weren't thinking? Fuck you, Romeo. The Montagues and Capulets don't fucking think what they do affects the rest of the game, and I just lost my goddamn character over it.
I got you, Mercutio.
I need to.
Okay, let's just go for a walk.
Exit Mercutio and Benvolio.
Oh shit. Mercutio's dead. And I didn't tell on Tybalt because if he got into trouble, Juliet would hate me. I don't do stuff like this for a girl. Why do I do stuff like this?
We enter Benvolio.
Mercutio rage quit game.
I'll make sure that Mercutio is not the only one who leaves.
Tybalt is coming back.
And he wasn't punished like Mercutio. Doesn't matter. I'll give him a death blow that can't be resurrected.
Tybalt arrives.
Tybalt, this is revenge for Mercutio.
You're the one that's gonna go.
Let's go.
Romeo's footing is more aggressive than Tybalt as he goes for the offense. Tybalt parries and waits for the right moment to hit Romeo with 2 strikes. Romeo sees the patterns in Tybalt's calculated swings and learns to step aside from his thrust and lands a flurry of blows on Tybalt's unprotected side. Tybalt deviates from his normal fighting stance and makes wild swings, leaving him more exposed. Tybalt runs out of hit points and falls to the ground.
Death blow 1. Death blow 2. Death blow. Decapitate.
Romeo, you need to run. Don't just stand there. If the storyteller catches you in the mood he's in, he's going to rip up your sheet.
I'm fucked.
It will be if you stay. Go.
Who's the asshole who killed Mercutio, made him cry and leave game?
Tybalt is right there.
Oh my god, is Tybalt dead?
Forsooth, Tybalt's head is detached from his body or whatever.
Okay, we have to take you in. This PvP is getting out of hand.
Storyteller arrives with other Montagues and Capulets.
All right, who started this fight?
I can explain.
Not you. Go, Benvolio.
Storyteller, Romeo deathblowed Tybalt, but as an in-character response to Mercutio being killed. You know, in character.
Storyteller. Still, you created an anti-aggressive PvP rule between the Capulets and the Montagues, so it's only fair that you rip up Romeo's character sheet.
But Benvolio, who began it?
Okay, so... Well, Romeo did kill Tybalt. Romeo tried to get him to chill at first. He didn't want to fight because he knows about the no aggressive PvP rule that you put into place. In fact, Romeo was pretty calm about... But then the whole fight broke out between Tybalt and Mercutio. And Romeo was the only one who got between them to stop it. He didn't do it fast enough before you called hold, and you destroyed Mercutio's character sheet while Tybalt bolted before you got here. Then Romeo got so pissed over what happened to Mercutio that he ended up taking it out on Tybalt, because it was the only way he could resolve that. But then they dealt with it in character. and Romeo slew Tybalt. And I swear, all of that is true, or I'm turning in my 3-year-old character sheet.
He is a Montague, so of course he's going to defend him. And by the way, there were at least 20 other players in that fight, but only Tybalt was going to be the one that died. It is only fair that if Romeo killed Tybalt, then Romeo needs to die.
Okay, so Romeo killed Tybalt, but then Tybalt and Mercutio fought, for which I destroyed Mercutio's character sheet, but not Tybalt's sheet, except Tybalt is now dead and unable to be resurrected. Huh.
Can I at least say
No,
that?
still dead.
Ah!
You know, Romeo and Mercutio were good friends, so him reacting angry would be logical. I mean, the two people that started the fight died or died, so that should end it, right?
So, until further notice, the character of Romeo is suspended from Verona LARP until we have time to review. Look, I tried to be neutral about it. Mercutio's my own family, and I didn't spare him when I said no aggressive PvP. So don't expect me to be lenient on anyone else in this game. Send Romeo to base camp if I don't see him. Now, if you will excuse me, I'm gonna go back to base camp to make new blank character sheets when that time comes.
And end scene. All right, everybody, please come back in. And that's our presentation for today of Romeo and Juliet here on Breaking Bard, as well as the adaptation, A LARP of Edgelords. For first of all, thank you, chat, for being so welcoming and so positive in a lot of your feedback. So I guess I didn't plan how we were going to end this. I guess I wanted to get people's thoughts on did you have favorite scenes? Were there things that were relatable? Do you want to do a full version of this? I don't know. I just kind of did this for fun. So I'm gonna just start off on my Zoom upper left, and that's PJ. I just kind of want to get your thoughts, maybe favorite scene or anything that you liked.
Gosh. I think I loved every in and out of character line that James delivered the entire show. Your Mercutio was the best, the sassiest, and I love the hell out of it.
Thanks.
Yeah, and if we want to do this like full in any direction, like I think that'd be really cool to see both versions, like a full LARP and a full, Shakespeare on Twitch. Just give me a weekend, let's do it.
The thing
Yeah,
is,
maybe we'll make it a marathon or something.
Yeah, two like 5-parter. We do one act a week.
Yeah. The thing about this version was like just watching all of you. What was great is that even if I didn't know all the words, just the way you delivered your lines, I still felt like I understood the point you were trying to get across, and I'm very, very honored that you were acting for me because you were all amazing. Ruben, any thoughts on your end?
This is my first time paying attention to the Prince part at all, really. And because I remember the sheriff from Romeo plus Juliet, and that's about it. And it was very different playing the Prince from playing the storyteller, which I thought was interesting. I wanted more scenes with Romeo and Juliet in the scenes together. I felt that is the main reason why I would want to see a larger production, is to see that happen. But other than that, I thought it was an interesting way to try to update Romeo and Juliet. I loved it.
Thanks. So the reason for why I ended up picking the scenes that I picked was because I was trying to include the most people. And unfortunately, many of these scenes with Romeo and Juliet didn't involve a ton of people, since that is what I was trying to go for. But if we ended up doing like a full thing, then I feel like this would actually be very easy to translate over, especially in the lore. Blythe, thoughts?
I had a lot of fun. It was interesting going from the traditional to the LARP because, yeah, I kind of noticed the way, like, it's much more emotional, I think, in the original Shakespeare, whereas, like, for me, Lady Capulet in the play is, like, in the LARP version is more just angry, like, come on! And it was fun. It was fun trying to bury it up and play both. All I kept thinking is I would love to see what the Hamlet LARP is. Like, I want to see that one. Edward Hamlet, let's go.
Titus
I
Andronicus
can see
LARP.
it now. Breaking Bard, Hamlet, a LARP full of min-maxers.
Right. Where it's the last episode, so they have to perm everybody.
Yeah, it's like Death Wish. the LARP
Spoilers.
where every
Spoiler
character
alert with
perms.
Hamlet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Horatio.
Spoiler alert for a 500-year-old production.
Yeah. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen The Lion King, I guess.
Pretty much.
So
Why did they include that whole scene where they just stood around eating bugs in a LARP? Hakuna Matata.
Jack, any thoughts? Any favorite scenes?
It was okay. So like, what I found most interesting, rather than like specific scenes, is that it plays with a juxtaposition of stakes, right? Because like in one, life and death, actual people, lives ruined, but still, the people in the LARP, which I've definitely felt incredibly invested in the LARP drama. So, like, regardless of the fact that, like, yes, technically to an outside observer, this probably does not matter on the same scale as living, dying, falling in love, murder, suicide. It still is like so goddamn important to the teenagers that
Because
the
it's
thing is
teenagers.
right.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my biggest complaints in watching 5 different versions of Romeo and Juliet is when Romeo, who is reciting things importantly as if he were 30 and speaking up like this, and it's almost Shatner like, and it's like, oh my god, stop! Romeo is a teenager. Stop. And so that's why. Well, first of all, Jack. Oh my god, What was interesting about your delivery is, um, in many Shakespeare plays, many leads tend to falter under the weight of words of Shakespeare, but it is clear you did not have that problem. You controlled those words. You even controlled the pace. It was really interesting to watch you play Romeo.
Well, so this is not my first Romeo. No, I one of the things when you're doing Shakespeare that is so important, and there is absolutely a ton of it out there that where this happens. The first step is, if when you're delivering a line, because you're doing it in such a heightened language for people who do not speak that language, all that they have to go on is you making sure they understand what you're trying to say. So the whole thing is about, I need to find a way to really get across every little nuance, anything that is important to the character. I need to telegraph that as hard as I possibly can. So no, I think that was, I don't have any more.
Darren, favorite scenes or any standout moments?
I'm just really surprised with how well it translated. Again, from being a bunch of talking heads in a Zoom, I still felt like I was connecting with people. I felt other people were connecting in scenes really well. That was kind of a concern of mine, especially doing this in this kind of unique forum. So I really enjoyed that. I also I really thought your adaptations were apropos, and I thought they did a really good job kind of bringing it into our current year, while still keeping a lot of the jokes alive. So kudos to you on that.
Thank you. And I am so very happy with all of my actors that they did often react to each other, and it felt like
Mhm.
you were in the same space, despite that we were in Zoom. So I'm very, very happy with this production. Um, Jen, any thoughts? I mean, I feel weird that I only put you in one scene, but it was the most important one, and so it made sense.
It's all good. I mean, that's the play. So it's, Juliet's in, I think, 2 scenes in the first act, and then the second act is a lot heavier in every way.
Mhm.
And like Jack, this is I've played Juliet before, and actually on Zoom, which is interesting. But I think I'm always struck. I studied Shakespeare, and I'm always struck by the playfulness of the language, and the wit and the layers in the wordplay, and hearing it, you catch those in the rhythm and in the dynamics of the delivery. So I really enjoy listening to performances, because it brings so much to the action. There has to be what Jack was talking about with the intention underneath, but I think also in the words, people feel very intimidated looking at the text, but the
Mhm.
text itself is so, when you hear it and when you speak it, it becomes very accessible. So it was really fun to have that juxtaposition with the modern, because in rehearsals we noticed the difference in pacing in the scenes as we went between the modern and the classic text. But yeah, it was a delight to listen to everyone, say these beautiful words that have persisted throughout time, and have an opportunity to tell this story that is so universal and easily translated to different mediums. And a LARP is such a great place to put it, because it is a place of these very heightened experiences, and as a metaphor for being a teenager, that feeling big feelings and making really bad choices, and having really disproportionate consequences, and no adult going, hey, maybe not this. Like, maybe you just met 3 days ago, maybe don't get married, maybe not. Maybe I shouldn't be the one going, oh yeah, let's get you married.
But then again, the adults are like stabbing each other, so
Yeah, there's a lot of people
not a whole
making
lot of role
really
models.
bad
Yeah.
choices.
The prince is just hasn't had enough coffee the whole
Yeah.
time. So
Yeah, poor man.
I also
Hardest
would
job in Verona.
I also
Would you-
want to briefly say, Ryan, it's really impressive for you to take 500-year-old puns and then put them in a modern context, and sometimes invent totally new puns in that context. And that is, of course, keeping with the Shakespearean tradition of everything's a dick. But it's staggering to read it and be like, oh, okay, we're still here, and it was really a joy to read. So
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut anyone off there. I just want
No, you're good.
to say that.
There was a point in my directing, especially Act 1, Scene 1, where I had to read and explain the lines. This is a dick joke. This sword, this is a dick joke. This is a reference to sex. This is a reference to, like, body parts. This is a reference to a penis getting big. And just straight out for, like, 3 minutes explain straight out lines, just the number of dick. There are so many.
Yeah, when in doubt, it's a body BAWDY joke, because they needed those dirty jokes for the groundlings, for the people who were not high upper class. They needed to have the dirty jokes that people would understand, and so much of that is usually physicalized on stage. Like, you look at something like Taming of the Shrew, and it's filthy. And so yeah, I think that recognition and that understanding really makes it feel contemporary still. Just that, you have your jokes intended for the intellectuals, and you have your jokes that are your filthy, dirty jokes, and both keep people engaged.
There was a point where I, in our group chat, sent a picture of me threatening my cat with a sword, and then I think it was Paris that went that went nice sword, and I responded with thanks. It's a metaphor for my magnum dong, and that's just Shakespeare.
All throughout rehearsal, James was like, "My magnum dong," and I was just breaking, like quietly off camera.
I can never think of a LARP sword the same way again, because I'll look at it and I'll always think of Justin going Magnum Dong at a LARP. I'm like, oh my god, it's now stuck in my
Once we
head.
get back to in person, I'm just gonna chase you down and then just start rubbing
was
swords
just gonna
together.
say-
It'll be awful,
yeah.
and it'll be great.
But James, if you're gonna talk about a magnum dong, you're gonna need the magnumist of dongs. This thing is hitting the ceiling as we speak.
Wow. And
Wow.
so is his LARP weapon.
How
exactly?
How Shakespearean of you.
Awkward. It's too big. Doesn't
Ben,
go anywhere.
Ben, any thoughts of this production or like any favorite scenes?
My favorite scene was probably the scene of Mercutio. Like the adaptation, Mercutio was my favorite character because the scene where they were talking like the Tybalt and Mercutio were talking about the dick sex scene. I was like, whoa, I got really thirsty fast. I was like, surprised. It was funny. I liked it. It was fun.
Yeah, that scene was well written and executed by the participants.
Oh,
thank you.
They all were, but we were talking about that one just now. So
yes, Mercutio was actually when I was in high school, I didn't understand Mercutio because I think it was just never taught right. And then I realized after reading Mercutio, I was like, oh, he's
It's
using
the
very
Mercutio show.
Yeah, he's using extremely contemporary language that would have made sense in Shakespeare because it was contemporary references. So if I modernized it to Idina Menzel and Elle Woods and Beyonce, that's what he was basically talking about. And then so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna make it super contemporary, and it was just fun to write. Courtney, any standout scenes? Any favorite parts?
I mean, everyone was fantastic. Jennifer, I was really impressed with you and your performance in both versions of it.
Thank you so much.
But what really got me, because I was one of those terrible actors who did not read the entire script, I didn't actually know how that last scene was going to go, and I thought it was a really interesting take. That it wasn't just Tybalt death blows Mercutio, but the fact that it's the GM ripping up the paper and Mercutio's actually upset and like there's real emotion with it. And I thought that was a really interesting take with the writing and how you did that. So good job, Brian.
Thank you. It took me a while to figure out what is a satisfying end, and in a LARP, it's just you lose your character sheet, but I think it's the storyteller ripping it up, meaning that you have no chance, and making it very unfair because Mercutio's death was very unfair. It's like, what was the equivalent? It was ripping up the sheet. Also, by the way, Courtney, I love your interpretation towards the end of your scene where the nurse is trying to speak to not to avoid drawing attention to her and Romeo over what they were talking about, because I've seen it done in different ways where the nurse is just kind of just tittering about and not really making sense. But the way you kind of develop that LARP aspect of don't pay attention to us, we're talking about things are not important, is actually
playing words and stuff.
It was
peas and carrots.
It was such a new, innovative interpretation for me. I'm kind of stunned. It was so good.
That's just what came to me. It didn't feel right for the original, and so like when you and I were talking about this in rehearsal, I wanted to do more traditional nurse, Dottie and a little out of it, and really happy about what's happening. But in the LARP version, I channeled my friend Anne Valiant, who, when I read your character description, I'm like, oh, that's Anne. Yes, she is, snarky and really sharp, and it allowed me to be really distinct between when I was in character and when I was out of character, and that's like what Anne would do. Anne would be like, "Oh yeah, we're totally cool over here, just role playing. Uh-huh. Sure. So yeah, it was a fun to do
Mhm.
to take on the character. But
Nice.
next time I kind of, it's funny. I also a big Mercutio fan, and always wanted to play Mercutio. But now, as I'm older and understand more about how I'm as an actor, I kind of want to play Tybalt.
So what we're gonna do real quick is I know that one of our participants has to go because they have to arrange for something. So let's have Jen just quickly do a current call, and where can people find you on the internet?
Sure. You can find me on Twitter as @DreamWisp. You can find me on Twitch as DreamWispJen. I am one of the authors on Candlekeep Mysteries, which is one of the recent D&D hardcovers. I'm also on a number of different streams. You can find me on Heroes of the Plains on Demiplane RPG on Tuesday nights. On Wednesday nights, you can find me playing a brand new Vampire the Masquerade show for Renegade on Play Renegade. Mondays, I am usually on my own channel doing some hangouts and talking about DM theory and things like that. I have a couple of other things coming up that I can't talk about yet, but and I'm the creator of the Accessibility and Gaming Resource Guide, which you can find in my pinned tweet. So those are usually the best places to find me.
All right. Thank you so much, Jen.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye. Ben, you also have to go as well. Go ahead and tell us where can people find you. Well, if you can't
I'm
find
not
you on
really
the
found
internet,
on the internet.
then let us know what you are doing in real life.
Local cryptid.
I'm working on getting my AA in history so I can get a PhD, or not PhD, a bachelor's in history so I can teach history at high schools. Currently working on several game projects, modding projects for Crusader Kings 3 and Hearts of Iron 4. That's me.
All right. Thank
Good
you so
night.
much, Ben. Good night.
Bye.
Bye. All right, Justin. Favorite scene this game. And by the way, after I saw your audition, I was like, I literally couldn't think of anyone else to play Mercutio. It was so good.
But yes, I would have to say my favorite scene is particularly was when I got to get mad. But there was also quite a bit of fun in making all the dick jokes. As particularly because it was just like half a step out of my comfort zone. And there was a little bit of fun in it, particularly because as someone who is trans, I didn't get to, grow up in that sort of scenario where I got to make dick jokes. So now all of a sudden it's like, oh, I get to do that now. But also, growing up trans, it meant that when my school did a production of Romeo and Juliet, I was actually Juliet. Even though I was a 6 foot tall eighth grader, my producer just thought it was funny because my last name is Montague. And so it kind of was just a whole lot of dreams coming true in that it's like, I get to make dick jokes, I get to be flamboyant, also, I get to be mad. So the death scene is my favorite.
Nice. Thank you again for playing Mercutio. You were amazing. Also speaking of amazing, Kai, with very Tybalt is one of the most well-known characters for his very few lines as he has, but you do so much with Tybalt. It's amazing. What's your favorite scene or moment in this production?
I am really humbled and surprised. I thought I was just kind of chugging along while everyone else was doing far, far better. So that's a super kind compliment, but like I did not feel like I was making that much of an impact compared to some of the rest of you. I have a couple of things to say. The first one being James, Justin. Your emotes, I really wanted to jump in while you were talking, but I knew I was next. So like your emotes and your ability to emote is so incredibly strong in the best kind of way. It was super impressive, and it was a downright honor to get to be your Tybalt to Mercutio, because like you as Mercutio, perfect. I loved it. It was so much fun to bounce off of, and like I would love to try and do that again in the future, some kind of way, type of thing. Like you're super fun to play with, and it was definitely an honor to get to bounce back and forth with you on that.
I'll have to track you down at a real LARP game.
Yeah, it'd be fun. And I especially enjoy the the anger point that you got to kind of go into, because your voice started breaking and things with it. I've been there where in the LARP rendition of a person getting their character sheet torn up, I had that happen to me at a game. Slightly different circumstances, but I had a character that was just in a downtime, and it sucked because I was literally the only person in the game that had ever died that way, and I think ever did. And it's not a great feeling. And so some of how you were kind of being like, yeah, I'm fine, I'm not dying, but this fucking hurts, this fucking sucks, kind of thing. Like, I've been there, and you were just nailing it. It was really good, and it hit really, really close to home on that. So
All right. Before we go, the chat has demanded a curtain call from everybody. So they want. So let's go in order. Let's go in reverse order, actually. Where can people find you on the internets? Let us know what projects you're working on so that they can follow you and plug your stuff. I'm gonna start with Kai.
I'm Kai Norman, he, him. I am a part of the live action roleplay kind of like flagship podcast that we do. I do GMing sometimes. I am not actively in any streams right now, but I'm hoping to change that in the future soon. There are a few things that we're considering and stuff. I also am the head of operations and head director for Dystopia Rising NorCal. We are running, and there's a few of my players around here. We are running online games for the time being, and we actually have one more of those until we start slipping over to some live games as well. So long as booking a venue and all that kind of stuff in Meat Space actually works out. So that's my current kind of overall plan. And if you're interested in that, you should definitely keep your eyes peeled on the Dystopia Rising Northern California Facebook group and the official page, as we will be releasing a graphic as a content roadmap for the rest of the year soon. So.
Yes, and if you have that and you're on the Twitch chat, feel free to post that into chat so that people can find and follow you. Justin, where can people find you on the internet?
I'm on most social medias at it's JJ Monty or Sheriff Cappy, because flat caps. But also, in the LARP space, I am the head of story for Alliance LARP Las Vegas, which is a new chapter of Alliance LARP that actually has their first game next month. So if you want to be there while I'm an NPC getting mad, then you can. So if you go to alliancelarp.com and click over to find a chapter, then we are there.
Okay. Courtney, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me in a couple different places. I do various shows on this channel right here, including Blink Slate, and I did a guest spot on the Hell's Boardroom, and miscellaneous projects for Ryan. I'm on Twitter at the Anime Goddess. I'm also on YouTube, where I play this cool ass instrument called a hurdy-gurdy that sounds kind of like this, and I have a lot of fun with it. My handle is Wicked Reflection on YouTube, at least for now, until I can do some branding stuff. But yeah, come check it out.
All right. Darren, where can people find you on the internet?
Well, I have a relatively small internet presence at this time. If you want to reach me, my email is masterofthehouse@gmail.com. So I do a lot of stuff there. I'm also in an upcoming Anthony Ferrante film, the director of Sharknado, that I'm going to be in that's coming out later on this year, called The Nix. It's a horror film. I'm really excited about it. And other than that, when I'm not doing quick shows, I'm a funeral director and embalmer. That's what I do for a living. So, but I'm totally stoked to be able to be joining all of your August presents so that we can make wonderful art together. So thanks for including me, and I'm always down to do projects.
Yes. Impressive job, by the way. Jack, where can people find you on the internet?
All right. So, I rarely stream on Twitch, but I'm hoping to do a bit more of it and a bit more stuff like this, hopefully. My Twitch is Cheerful Entropy. I also have a sadly neglected YouTube that has a fairly humorous Subnautica playthrough that has got no love. But if you Google or you look up Subnautica Entropy, hopefully you'll find me. Um, Mostly my life has been utterly dominated by mycology lately. And as of this morning, I am the proud owner of mushrealm.com, which I don't actually have. I need to put in a way to contact me. However, if you do, you can get a grow bag of oyster mushrooms for money, presumably. I don't know. I have dozens of them.
It's a pretty fun guy.
Ah, Kai.
That pun didn't leave much room for error, but I appreciate that you tried.
Moving on. Blythe. Where can
My
people
notes
find
are
you
being
on the
stolen right
internet?
now, so.
I mean, that was a pretty good. Those were good. Those were good. I guess that makes Kai a pretty fun Kai. Anyways.
That's it. My mom says we can't hang out anymore. She says you guys are bad influences.
Wow.
All right. Yes, everybody. I have been Blythe. You can find me across Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, all under Blythe Kala 93. That's BLYTHEKALA 93. You can also find me every other Monday over on Happy Jack's RPG, where I play in a Stone Top campaign, and my girl is probably gonna marry a fairy king, which is probably a bad idea. So you should watch and find out what happens. Her friends might get her out of it. Who knows? And then on Saturdays at 10 a.m., I am over on It's Probably Okay playing an Urban Shadows game where I play a French vampire who has a very bad French accent, but she's very sassy and very fun to play. I've also done a bunch of Star Wars podcasts recently. I don't know. Follow my Twitter and you can usually see what I'm doing. That's usually the best way to know. And I talk a lot about Star Wars, and right about now I'm making a lot of DC jokes about what DC heroes apparently don't do. Which if you've seen, you know.
All right, Ruben, where can people find you on the internet?
Oh, hi, everybody. It's the internet's Mox Ruby. I've made an arrow that points to my name in the Twitch chat. You can follow me everywhere at those combinations of letters. I am the Dungeon Master for the Broken Pact. There's about 100 hours of content over on the official Dungeons & Dragons Twitch channel, where I've been dungeon mastering for folks for 4 seasons and a bunch of specials. We also have a link tree. It's the linkter.ee linktree / the Broken Pact. I also did Tales from Tetheria for a bunch of the like Lasercorn and Jovenshire and Mari Takahashi and Noah Grossman over on the Lasercorn YouTube channel. There's a season of that, which was a ton of fun. I'm also one of the co-hosts of the Magic Mics cast. That's MICS. It's a Magic the Gathering news talk show, and it's a pun. And you can follow us at twitch.tv/magicmics, MAGICMICS.
Mike.
And that's Thursdays at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific.
All right, PJ, where can people find you on the internet?
All right. It's a lot like Courtney. I've been blessed to work with Ryan for a long time. We did Blank Slate together. We did all the way back to Arcana High together. I was able to be lucky enough to come as a recurring angel in the Boardroom, Devil's Angels, and Armageddon series. And when I'm not here, you can find me all over the internet as pj.mcgoff, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. This is my official come find me. I'll friend you. It's not weird. And also you can find me at my own Twitch channel, twitch.tv/not20 productions official. I'll put my handle in the thing. You can find us. We just had our 1-year anniversary. We've been streaming now for 1 year. We've made over like 3 charity shows, 52 episodes. And this will be our first week back from our 1 year as we enter a lucha competition to get a dwarf luchador warriors honor and title back. And Tuesdays I do a talk show with a guy named Mr. Michael Powell. We talk about Pathfinder and TTRPG stuff. We do builds with the chat. We talk about the books and things. So you can see that tomorrow, 3:30 to 5:30, and Edge of Legend, the Lucha one that we're doing, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And yeah, oh, we have a merch line too. We have a whole bunch of clothes that just dropped. So if you see our show and you think we're fun, come support us. Wear a shirt. I'm gonna get a tank top and wear it because I like not wearing sleeves. And in July, I'll be doing a charity show with Jasper's Game Day. We raised like I think a month ago, we raised over $106,000 for suicide awareness and prevention. And it's a great cause, and you are not a critical failure. So if you want to more details on that, maybe even join us at the table. We open up raffle tickets to raise money for that as well. So you can come play my first ever actual time playing Pathfinder. I've been running it for over a damn year. This will be the first time I've ever actually played it. I kind of have an idea what I'm doing. So that's my spiel, and I hope to see you guys soon.
All right, and I am your director and adaptation person, Ryan Omega. The LARP of Edgelords is a crazy head thing. Do you know what? I only did this because I said I had this really strange idea of making Shakespeare adaptable for 2021 because I was curious to see what would happen, and then just turn it into a LARP. And so I'm very, very happy that people said you should do the thing. So I did it. Things that are coming up. So this is the first of the Breaking Bard series. So coming up in July is going to be the Scottish play, Macbeth, directed by Ashley Bargy. I'm inviting other people to also direct. In early August is going to be Much Ado About Nothing by Maxwell Colburn, who is a real life dramaturge. So his take is going to be interesting. And at the end of August, I will be directing my version of Midsummer Night's Dream. And the current incarnation is that it will take place in Vegas because Burning Man is too obvious. Things that are coming up. This Wednesday, I am going to be on twitch.tv/hyperrpg, and I'm going to be doing a small taste of my normal game of Purgatory Cafe, which I am calling a hyper espresso shot of Purgatory Cafe. So the challenge is to take a game that I normally run for 6 or more people and run it for 2 people, specifically the heads of Hyper RPG, Zach and Malika, and see if I can make it a thing. And I warned them, get a lot of costumes out because we're doing this in person. I'm actually going to go to their studio and run this. So this is going to be an interesting thing that I've never tried. We'll see what happens. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m., I am the associate producer on a show called The Maze of Planet 7, game mastered by Satine Phoenix. And it is Facebook's one of the first attempts of having Dungeons and Dragons on Facebook Gaming, and it's actually gotten huge views. So I'm very proud to be part of that, and that will continue for the next 8 more weeks. And other than that, you could find me here on Life Action Roleplay. If you like what you see, feel free to follow. If you want to support what we do, feel free to subscribe, or you can also follow us on Patreon under Life Action Roleplay, where you will see some of my behind the scenes for the various different projects and shows that I do. All right. Thank you all so much, and we're going to be rating our friends over at the Scabby Rooster. Normally on Mondays, I would be over with them playing Dungeons and Dragons, but today is a Shakespeare day, so we're going to go ahead and let me do that call right now. Okay, we should come up with a raid call. I don't know what we should say.
I feel like Magnum Dong is inappropriate, but I
was
not so
literally
much
about
that
to
I
say
won't
the same
suggest
thing.
it.
Yeah.
What about exunt? Like we're all just exiting?
Right.
Exunt.
Exit pursued by no, that's the different play.
I will always exit pursued by bear. Thank you
Right.
very much.
All right.
Sort of the euphemism.
A sword euphemism? I don't know. Maybe something about mushrooms. We could say
Sure.
mushrooms.
Mushroom dance.
That did not get any
mushroom
better
dance.
if we're trying to avoid dick jokes.
Right.
That's true, but at least
But it
mushrooms.
calls it all together.
Yes, it's at least subtle.
Sure. That subtle umami flavor.
I'm hungry now. Damn you.
Mushroom dance. Whatever
I'm
could
gonna
it mean?
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Well,
Again,
look, it's your channel, Ryan. So
I know, but listen, thank you all so much for joining us, and until next time, we bid you adieu. Mwah. See you.